South Dakota Governor Kristi Noem is defending her decision to kill her 14-month-old female dog, Cricket. It's a puppy, actually.
Kill the puppy, yeah.
Noem, who's considered a contender to become Donald Trump's vice presidential running mate, received backlash from both sides of the aisle after a passage in her upcoming memoir revealed a startling anecdote where she admitted to murdering her dog. According to an excerpt from The Guardian, Noem took Cricket, that's the little girl puppy's name, on a pheasant hunt with older dogs, but writes that the young pup ruined the hunt after chasing the birds and going out of her mind with excitement. Oh, my God, what's she going to do? She had a bad morning. So the dog was bounding around with excitement and so happy.
So she said too happy.
Noem describes calling Cricket, then using an electronic collar to attempt to bring her under control. One of those shock collars, you know? Nothing worked to stop Cricket from running around with joy. Then on the way home after the hunt, as Noem stopped to talk to a local family, Cricket escaped Noem's truck and attacked the family's chickens, grabbing one chicken at a time, crunching it to death with one bite,
by the way,
then dropping it to attack
this
another.
Happens. The question is, like, how can
That's a terrible moment.
How can a governor not keep
I've been there.
A dog under control?
Well, it happens.
Put it on a leash or whatever. She's blaming the dog.
This is the part I don't understand.
Breaking out of the truck.
I hated that dog, Noem writes, adding that Cricket had proved herself. Cricket. Untrainable. Cricket.
It's Cricket.
Dangerous to anyone she came in contact with.
Fault,
Cricket.
Not her.
And less worthless as a hunting dog. Cricket. At that moment, Noem says, I realized I had to put her down.
All right.
It was not a pleasant job, she writes, but it had to be done.
She took the puppy to a gravel pit and gunned
After
it down.
Noem's story caused controversy, the governor doubled down and tried to paint the story as one of the necessary dark sides of farm life. No. Writing on X, the fact is South Dakota law states that dogs who attack and kill livestock can be put down. Given that Cricket had shown aggressive behavior toward people by biting them, the dog tried to bite her. I decided what I did. I followed the law.
Shooting her in a gravel
was responsible.
All right.
Being responsible parent, dog owner, and neighbor.
We've done enough of this.
Hold on. She then revealed that she killed the family goat because it was gross. And it knocked down her kid. Goats do that. Goats can be a little gross. But she killed it in the gravel pit, along with the puppy.
Let's bring in right now former White House Director of Communications of President Obama, Jen Palmieri. She's co-host of the MSNBC podcast, How to Win 2024 and Survive Your Goat, and MSNBC contributor and author of the book, How the Right Lost Its Mind and Started Killing Puppies in Gravel Pits. Kind of a strange title for a book, but I guess he saw this coming. Charlie Sykes. Charlie, okay, we could talk about the tragedy of Cricket and this poor goat, Festus or whatever it is.
It's more what's going through her mind that makes her think she should murder her puppy in cold blood immediately after getting angry.
No, well, you can do that, but it's the confessional aspect. Charlie, the confessional aspect was done as a political pose. I'm tough. Right. I'm mean.
I murder puppies.
I'm an SOB. I'll even kill a little puppy if it gets in my way. I mean, I think that's the sickest part of this, that Donald Trump's Republican Party and the grotesqueness of the conservative movements.
Do we have a picture of Cricket?
Let me finish, please. Violent wing. This is where they go. This is virtue signaling for Republicans. This is virtue signaling. I shot in cold blood a puppy in a gravel pit.
I think that is the most extraordinary part about all of this, that she thought that this would be a plus for her. Look, this book is a campaign book. It is a resume to be Donald Trump's vice president. And she thought it was a good idea. Let's include this story. Let's tell this story about myself, how I took this puppy and shot him in the gravel pit. So why would she have done this? The obvious explanation is she thought that Donald Trump would like it. She thought that this would be a net positive. I can imagine her buddy Corey Lewandowski saying, no, put it in, Christie, because you know that Donald Trump wants people who are willing to do the tough, dirty, nasty things that are necessary. And she did. Now, obviously, it's blown up in her face because even on Earth 2.0, killing puppies is a net negative. I suppose one of the good things is we haven't seen MAGA World come out in absolute defense of puppy killing because, of course, we've seen them come out in favor of a lot of things. But this does say a lot that Kristi Noem put this in the book and did not think it would be a net negative in the mind of Donald Trump. And I do think that this is just and why would she have thought that? Well, because increasingly brutality is the point, not just cruelty, but brutality. Donald Trump has a fetish for this. He talks about shooting shoplifters, extrajudicial murders of drug dealers. When he was president, he talked about how can you make the border fence, as vicious as possible? Can we put razors on it? Can we do all of these things? He tells stories about shooting prisoners of war with bullets tipped in pig blood. And obviously there are people in Trump's orbit who thinks that this is the kind of thing that might induce him to think, she's a killer. She's tough. She's exactly the kind of person who's willing to do the courageous things that need to be done.